The big guy and I absolutely love gingerbread. And my daughter-in-law fixed some gingerbread, and she actually made it with pumpkin. Oh my goodness, when I bit into that pumpkin gingerbread, it was off the chart. And you know what? She made enough. She made a double batch. And the funny thing is that I think by the next day it was all gone. And she probably needed to make some more. But you know what? That's what the holidays are all about. It was so good. So I had to share with you, because what I said to her, okay, I got the pumpkin bread part, but now I need to add that little touch of gingerbread because we love gingerbread. So I'm going to share with you what I'm doing today as a part of our VLOGmas 2021, and I welcome you. I'm Leona Dooley, and you know what? Here at Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, we are always doing things that are fun for the family. We are cooking, we're decorating, we're creating, and we are just building a strong family, one meal at a time. So, if you like those kinds of things, I invite you to certainly subscribe, because I'd love for you to be with me on the journey of life. So, let's get to what we're doing to get that pumpkin gingerbread out of the oven. Now first, for the pumpkin gingerbread, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You're also going to want to lightly grease your baking pans, and I'm using 3 loaf pans because of the fact that I'm doubling this recipe. So when I give this to you by voice, I'm going to give you the doubled amount. But down in the description box, I will give you the single loaf portion, and then you can decide whether or not you want to double the recipe. So we have in the bowl 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. That adds out to about, let's see, 4 1/2 cups of flour that's actually in the bowl. I also added in the dry ingredients, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, as well as 2 teaspoons of ground ginger. I put in a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I didn't have cloves, so what I did was that I added in a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice with hope that it would have a little bit of extra flavorings in there that would work, and it did. Now, I also added in a teaspoon of salt, because salt will help to bring out the sweetness of the bread. Now, in the wet ingredients, we're going to have a 1/2 cup of canola oil. We're going to have, that's going to be 1 cup of canola oil. We're going to have 4 large eggs. We're going to have 2 cups of canned pumpkin puree, and we're going to add a couple of cups of molasses, because we want to get that good molasses flavor. Now for sugar, I need 2 cups of sugar, and I decided that in order to get some extra molasses, I used brown sugar. And so I put in 2 cups of brown sugar. And then I added in 1 full cup of boiling hot water toward the end, just before I finished mixing. Now, you have the option that you could actually throw in, if you have it, some candied ginger, which would just kick up that ginger flavor. I didn't have it, and when I'm making this on a day-to-day basis, I don't use the candied ginger. Now, when I make this to take away and take it out to someone's house for a festive occasion, then I'll add the candied ginger. Now, after my loaves were baked and cooled, I then made a little lemon drizzle to go on top. And that was so easy. So I have that down in the description box as well. Now, when you're making a double batch of pumpkin gingerbread, you're going to want to plan several pans for your household. And then, it's really fun to be able to give one away. And that's exactly what I did. I prepared these. You'll see that I have them sprayed and full of oil so that hopefully they won't stick. And this Christmas season has been the first time that I've done a lot of baking in my new oven. And so it's been a learning curve because I haven't baked in a gas oven in quite a while. In fact, in probably 25 or more years. So this was a little new to me. And so I made sure that I was very careful and kept a watchful eye because I knew I had kicked up the sugar content of this bread just a bit, and certainly the spice content. So those are the kind of things you have to think about when you're putting things into your oven because you don't want them to burn. Our oven is preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm going to place these 3 pans on a baking sheet. So just in case there's a little spillage, we'll hopefully be protected from all of this ending up on the bottom of the oven. And if I'm watchful, that shouldn't happen. Now, if the top of your bread starts to get just a little bit too brown, you can place a little bit of parchment paper over it, so that will help to stop some of the browning on top of your gingerbread. Now, we're going to put this in, and we're going to keep it in for about anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes depending upon your oven. Don't forget to use a toothpick to check as to whether or not your bread is done. And once your toothpick comes out clean, then take it out. And sometimes I even remove it about 3 minutes ahead of that, just to be safe and to make sure that my bread is not dried out, and certainly this wasn't. It came out absolutely perfect. Now I'm going to let these pans sit for about 10 minutes, and then I'll remove them from the pan. Now once I do that, I'm going to add that little drizzle of icing that you'll see on top. And all it was a little bit of melted butter, a little bit of powdered sugar to get a good consistency. I threw in just a cap full of vanilla and a little lemon juice to get it as loose as I wanted it. I punched holes in the top of the bread, and then I drizzled this lemon mixture over it. And let me tell you, yum, yum. I wish you were standing in my kitchen right now because, oh my goodness, the bread smells divine. The big guy is hovering, and needless to say, I have a feeling that several of these pieces are going to go to him, if not almost all of them. I'm going to get one, and he may get the other 3. But you know what? What a fun afternoon together. Thank you so much for those of you who are family members and have been family members for quite some time. And thank you to those of you who are new family members that you have taken the time to stop by the kitchen of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, because you know in our kitchen we're doing things all the time that will help to bring the family together and just to spend time together, because time is so important. Now, I hope that you're enjoying this Vlogmas series, because I certainly am. And I want you to try this pumpkin gingerbread today. It is delicious. So don't delay. Do it as quickly as you can. And I'll see you tomorrow.